Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. Today we're talking about inquiries. Have you tried to get one off your credit report lately? They may not allow you to dispute it anymore, and we're going to tell you why on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. I'm Michael Holmes of Delta Credit Restoration, bringing you more information yet again, another week out of the year, where it's more information to help you with your credit restoration process. Today we're talking about removing inquiries. It's getting increasingly harder and harder to do, and we're going to give you some information today that'll help you get through that process. Hopefully you'll find that information helpful. If so, give us that thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell so that every week as we come out with more stuff to help you in this process, you get it as we give it, okay? So let's talk about inquiries. So if you haven't tried to get an inquiry off your credit report lately, it's becoming more and more difficult. And as a credit repair company, this is one of the biggest challenges that we have as a company, and that is how do we stay in front of the curve? Because the laws may still be the same, but how they interpret it, what court cases come out and get successful and unsuccessful verdicts out of it changes how the laws are interpreted. And so every year it's the debt collectors and the creditors and the bureaus versus the credit repair companies and the attorneys, and we all just kind of do this one leg up every year. And now what it's all about is inquiries. So if you have tried to dispute an inquiry on your credit report, you may have found that the bureaus have actually told you no, that they will not allow you to dispute an inquiry on your credit report. You might be, well, wait a minute, that's not right. That's against the law. How can they do that? Well, if you read the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 611, okay, it states that you can dispute the completeness and the accuracy of the information on your credit report. And when you're disputing an inquiry, what the bureaus will tell you is that that information is there as a matter of fact. So what does that mean? Well, it means that it happened. See, what people are misunderstanding is what does that inquiry line item on your credit report actually represent? Does it represent the fact that that company had permissible purpose to actually go into your credit report? No. Does it mean that that credit repair or that credit company has looked into your credit? No. What that line item is saying is that they received a copy of your credit report. They've inquired, but most importantly, the information stating that they got the information. That is a matter of fact. No matter what you dispute, you cannot dispute the fact that they got the information. So it's complete and it's accurate. So now what the bureaus are telling you to do is, well, we can't do this dispute for you. You've got to go to the creditor that pulled your credit and get them to write you a letter that states that they did not have permissible purpose to delete that item and that it needs to be removed from your credit report. And the comeback to that I have is good luck. But it really opens your eyes, because as I started going through this for my clients, I'm like, there is no way I'm going to get a creditor to admit that they pulled credit without getting permissible purpose. The company would be held liable for that. You could sue them for that, right? You could have a class action lawsuit. It could really get out of hand, right? Just think back to those videos we had about Wells Fargo and Fifth Third opening accounts for people who were inappropriate, right? It's kind of borderline, right? And so it got me thinking, well, why are the bureaus doing this? It doesn't make any sense. But if you think of your credit as a commercial product and not a consumer product, and start thinking of your credit as a business, it starts to make a lot more sense. Because here's the deal. If, let's say, you have a credit card, you've received the credit card, you have the credit card, you can dispute the information about the credit card, but the simple fact of the matter is you have the card, right? You have an account. You may not dispute that, but you may dispute the late pays or something like that. It's still kind of a matter of fact that you have this. But that's an easy out for the bureaus. If you dispute an account on your credit report, whether it's how it's reading, dollar amount, open, close dates, whatever you're disputing about it, all the bureaus did in that situation was take information from the creditor and report it. Simple fix is to delete it. There's no real liability on the part of the bureaus. But in the case of an inquiry, since the inquiry is about information that they gave out, if they gave out your information when they didn't have the permissible purpose, well, now the bureaus are liable. And they can't take that information back. They can delete an account all day long, but they can't take back your social security number. They can't take back your buying history. They can't take back all those addresses they just gave out, right? And that's where the liability becomes. They want the creditor to admit the wrongdoing so that they are in the clear. Now, this is my opinion, but it makes a lot of sense. As a business owner, you're either doing one or two things: growing your business or protecting it, right? You got to constantly do both, and that's them protecting themselves. So the question now becomes, well, what do you do if you want to get an inquiry off your credit report? Well, you can do what they suggest. You can go to the creditor, and I would recommend it, right? Because you want to be working on fixing your credit from different angles, right? So go back to that creditor, try to get that letter to submit to the bureaus. But if you're going to approach the bureaus, you cannot dispute the inquiry. You have to get them to validate the permissible purpose. So you have to challenge that they did not have permissible purpose, and you're asking them to investigate it. They still may come back to you and say, well, we don't do that. But now you change it. You're not disputing whether or not it's accurate. You're not disputing whether or not it's complete. What you're asking for is the proof that they had the permissible purpose, and that you can ask for. Because here's the truth of the matter is, when anything is put on your credit report, if you read the Fair Credit Reporting Act, when you do a dispute, they're not going to investigate your claim. They're going to re-investigate your claim. That means they were supposed to have done this homework before they let it on your credit report in the first place. Okay? So go with that theme, go with that thread and say, hey, look, I need you to go and show me what you were presented that showed that this company had permissible purpose to put this on my credit report. You can't dispute. They say, oh, I didn't authorize it, or this isn't mine, right? You have to go and you have to specifically say, show me the permissible purpose. Okay? So hopefully this information helps. If so, give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Tune in next week as we bring you more information to help you in your credit restoration process. And hopefully this will help you make a choice, make a change. Delta.